Hey, my people. It's Monday. It is 8:30, and it's time for Conversations with Teresa. For those who have been rolling with me for a while, welcome back. And if you're new here, I am so glad you landed in this space. So tonight, we are slowing down a bit. We're going back to the basics because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is pause and say, wait, what is actually happening to my body? Not the whispers and not the myths and not the part where we're just pushing through because women have been taught and almost encouraged to do that since forever. We're talking about what perimenopause really is, what's shifting, why you're feeling how you're feeling, and how to support yourself with the compassion and knowledge and confidence. This isn't about surviving midlife. This is about thriving through it. So let's start off by talking about what perimenopause is and why it matters. So, simply put, perimenopause is a transition. It's like the runway leading to menopause. No, it's not the ending. It is a transformation. It's a hormonal shift that every woman who lives long enough will experience in some way, shape, or form. And of course, we all have different degrees as to how we may feel perimenopause, but our bodies will go through it, whether we fully recognize it or not. So let me ask the question. How many of us grew up hearing anything about perimenopause? Or menopause. I definitely didn't hear it in school. I didn't have any little auntie circles where we were talking about it in my family. We just saw women go through life. Maybe they disappeared for a while or struggled silently. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know the word perimenopause until about 3 or so years ago. And yet I was waist deep, forget knee deep. I was waist deep in it when I started to learn. Perimenopause isn't just a period change, it is brain fog, it is sleep changes, it can be anxiety, it can be irritability, it can be inflammation, mood swings, weight shift, and especially around the midsection, the weight shift, right? It could be intense headaches. It could be joint pain. Right before I got on here, I'm sitting here doing this to my hands, right? Because my joint pain. It could be hot flashes. It could be heart palpitations, itchy ear, burning tongue. That's one thing I hadn't experienced yet, but people told me about that. But what about a low libido or vaginal dryness? It's like a whole cotton picking ride, right? And no, you're not just being dramatic. You're not lazy. You're not losing yourself. Your hormones are shifting and your body is responding. So let's normalize that truth. Okay. All right. So here's another question. Why don't we talk about it? Why is it so hard to talk about? So, sometime this week, it was interesting. And I've heard it a couple of times. People will say to me, Teresa, you're so bold about talking about perimenopause the way that you do. And I smile, but I think inside I'm thinking it shouldn't be bold. It should be normal. Talking about the biology of half the world's population should not be a revolutionary act. But the silence has been so harmful. Here's what silence has meant: late diagnosis on things or a misdiagnosis. That was me. Women quitting their jobs or suffering in silence, feeling ashamed or confused, thinking it must just be me. Nope. No, ma'am. It's not just you. And part of my mission, and I'm hoping part of your mission, is to break that silence. Because when we talk about it, when we talk about things like this, here's what we get: we get more research, we get better health care, We get more support at work. We build community. We educate ourselves and our families. And we model for the next generation that women's health is not a side topic. It is essential. Half the population, it is essential. So, speaking about my symptoms openly helps one woman feel seen or speak up for herself, it is worth it 189,000%. But I think it's more than one woman. That's just my thought about it. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about what is actually happening in the body. All right. So I'll break it down as simple as I know how. Perimenopause happens because the hormones, estrogen and progesterone, start to fluctuate. They don't just drop, but they swing up and down like a roller coaster. So imagine like you're trying to walk steady, but the floor keeps shifting beneath you. And that's what hormones are like right now. So here's some of the things that the hormones affect. Brain chemistry. We kind of need that, right? We need our brain chemistry to be working on right. Sleep. Obviously, if we are not sleeping well, then everything else gets thrown off, right? We don't sleep well. We're not waking up well. We're not thinking things through well. There's a whole lot of things that go with that. Um, there's a word. I'm gonna blame this on perimenopause. I can't remember how to pronounce this word. Uh, Metabolism. That's what it is. I was about to say I don't know what I was going to say. Metabolism. And metabolism, that little insignificant process where your body converts food and drink into energy that helps you to do everything from like breathing to thinking to moving. Yeah, that little thing. The hormones are affecting that shift. It's affecting that. We got mood regulation, temperature control, hence the hot and cold, things like that. Skin tissue elasticity, heart health. Heart health. We don't even talk about that a lot, but it's so because it's like inside, right? We don't see it. But yes, even our heart health, our bone health, and I've said this before a couple of times. One of the bigger challenges we see, especially in older women, or that you hear about older people, is that my grandmother fell and broke her hip, and it's just like it's not so much the fall, but it's because of the bones. They get more brittle because of the fluctuation. It's I can't even explain it enough. So, if you've been feeling like not yourself, maybe more sensitive to things, maybe more tired, more snappy, or just off in your body, you are not alone. And you're not losing it, you're transitioning. So, it may not feel like neat or graceful every day, but make no mistake, this season is powerful. Your body isn't breaking, it's transforming. And let me say that again for the women who are like multitasking right now. Your body is not breaking, it is transforming. And through this transformation, we often need support. So let's talk about what that support could look like. All right. So it could be you joining this podcast and sharing it with a friend. It could be shifting your mindset around the negative that you've heard or seen regarding perimenopause or menopause. It could include lifestyle shifts like getting the proper rest, learning the nutrition that your body needs now, not when you were 20, right? I tried to eat some onion rings the other day, and I was like, this is just not gonna work out. All right. So my body's like, nope. Your body's to talk to us, right? It was just like, nope. So again, what used to be okay 20 years ago, maybe not okay right now. Or maybe it's it's more movement. Maybe it's building strength. And one of my favorite is building community. So if I knew what was happening to me, if I was talking about that before perimenopause came on, that would have changed the game for me. I needed and still need my people who get me and still teach me what I don't know, because I don't know what I don't know. There's probably things, like I said earlier. I had mentioned about the burning tongue. I'm glad that I'm not feeling that, but it's good to know that if my tongue ever feels like it's burning, I'm not like running to the emergency room. I might just be like, okay, let me take a minute and let me see. That just might be one of the things. Um, but one of the things that I haven't talked about so much lately was that we may just need medical support. And here's the truth: a lot of doctors are not trained in menopause care. It's not taught deeply in medical school right now. So I want you to hear me clearly when I say this. There are menopause specialists who exist, and you deserve access to one or two. One probably would work out, but we deserve the access. A menopause specialist? What? Again, 3 years ago, I didn't even hear about perimenopause, and now we have menopause specialists. So, how do you find these people? Some are through OBGYN departments, women's health centers. There's the menopause societies, certified professionals, specialized midlife clinics. And these providers, these menopause providers, menopause specialists rather, they can help with hormone evaluation, symptom management, if you need some labs, um, hormone replacement therapy, non-hormonal treatment options, and holistic approaches. And sometimes just having a doctor who believes you and understands this stage, that could change everything. So if you have a need, if you have, oh, I can't even talk. If you need some help in finding a menopause specialist, you can actually go to my website, teresaandling.com, just where you joined here, and join my Thrive Tribe. So I have a whole list of various providers throughout Boston and the surrounding area. And if you join the tribe, you will have access to that. So yeah, is a great resource. And it's probably somewhere like right in your neighborhood. But I want to be clear, as I'm talking about all these things, I am not a medical professional. All right. So I am a woman living this journey, sharing what I learn, what I feel, and what I witness. Everything we talk about here, take to a qualified healthcare professional who can support you, because each one of us has unique needs. Okay. So, and when you go, oh, this is really important. When you actually go to, whether it is your OB or menopause specialist, or even just to your primary care, do not minimize your symptoms. Don't say things like, it's not that bad, or it's not as bad as such and such. All right. Don't say, I'm probably overreacting. No, tell the truth, your whole truth. And it takes courage to advocate for yourself. I get it. But you deserve the care, and you deserve the answers, and you deserve to feel good in your body again. So tonight, we go back to the basics, or we went back to the basics. We named what perimenopause is, what's happening in the body, why talking about it matters, and how to seek support, including menopause specialists. Many of us maybe not, you may not have even known that they exist, right? So I want to make sure that you know you are not alone in this. You are part of a powerful community of women who are redefining midlife. We are not hiding. We're not shrinking. We're not speaking. I'm sorry, we are speaking We are speaking, we're sharing, we're learning, we're supporting, we are thriving. And if this episode made you feel seen, I want you to share it. I want you to invite other women into this conversation. And let's build a world where talking about perimenopause is as normal as sneezing. Because when we normalize the conversation, we unlock more research, more care, more empathy, and more thriving for us and the families we impact. So, thank you so much for joining. As always, I'm always so encouraged by all of the support that I get online and in person. Thanks for choosing yourself. And remember, you are not broken, you are becoming. Have an amazing week as you grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever. All right. So until next time, stay kind to yourself, stay connected. Thanks for joining me with Conversations with Teresa, and have an amazing week. Peace out.